Hello, my dear student. Very good morning to everyone. Today, we're going to start a new topic. It's the Nobel Prize winner, Albert Camus' Stranger. So, uh, let's see the biography of Mr. Albert Camus, and then we will discuss the novel's characters, that is, the characters of Stranger. So, the title is very interesting and thought provoking. The title is Stranger, that means unknown, outlander, or foreigner, a person who is from other part of the world, who is not from this part of the world, or to some extent, it is associated with the word alienation that we have read in the previous novel Metamorphosis. So let's see the life, the major important events of Mr. Albert Camus. So Camus was born on November 7, 1913 in Mondavi, French Algeria. So yes, in that time, Algeria was under France. In one word, it was a French colony. And from 1830 to 1962, it was Algeria was under France. So he was born there in the French colony. But his family was not originally from Algeria. His family was originally from France. But like many British people came to our part of the world for the sake of the job and other things, for their duty, for their job. Like that, the Camus family also went there in Algeria, and he was born and brought up there. Though later he and along with his family, they returned to France, but his upbringing was there in Algeria. His Pied Noir. Pied Noir is a new term for you, and Pied Noir means people of French and other European origin who were born in Algeria. The people of, you mind it, it is a new term, new word, and you will not find it in the dictionary. You can find it in but in Google, but not in this word is not there in the dictionary. So it is about the people who are from French or other European origin, and they were there in the Algeria from 1830 to 1962. That means during the colonial period in Algeria. So his Payadnar family had little money. They are not well off, because not all the people are having a decent job. Maybe his family, we actually don't know why they were not well off, but let's see. Camus' father died in combat during World War One, after which Camus lived with his mother, who was partially deaf in a low-income section of Algiers. So that is the reason. His father was a soldier, and not not being an officer. He was having a very small income, and the family didn't have any other resource. And his mother was also physically disabled to some extent. She was deaf. So that's why from the very early age, the family was struggling, and he saw the struggle from a very close quarter. So he saw the life, the harsh reality from the very close quarter. Kamo did well as a student. He was very good. Actually, he was excellent in school, and was admitted to the University of Algiers, the most prestigious university in Algeria, that is University of Algiers, where he studied philosophy. Of course, we will see the philosophical output in the writing in the later part, because Albert Camus is the father of absurdism in modern writings. That is, you all already are you are familiar with Waiting for Godot, the absurd drama, and it is from the philosophy of Mr. Albert Camus. Absurdism. He is the father of modern absurdism. So he was admitted to the University of Algiers, where he studied philosophy and played goalie for the soccer team. And he was a good player. So we can say that he was an all-rounder. He was an all-rounder. That he was a good student, and also he was almost like a professional player. He was the goalkeeper of the university team, University of Algiers team. Uh, he quit the team following a bout of tuberculosis, but he was suffering from tuberculosis in 1930. Thereafter, focusing on academic study. So that passion of football was not there because of the physical problem of tuberculosis. So that deviated him from that passion, and once again he concentrated on his study. By 1936, he had obtained undergrad and graduate degrees in philosophy. So he got his what do you say now in popular terms, BA and MA degree in philosophy. So basically, he was a student of philosophy, not a student of literature. So you see, today we are observing the 70 second birthday of Humayun Ahmed, one of the prolific and legendary writer of Bangla, popular writer you can say of Bangla writing. He was not also from literature background. He was from science background. So philosophy and literature is interconnected, very much interconnected, because if you don't have the terminology and feeling of philosophy within you, if you don't look the life in a philosophic way, then the writing or the output which will not come out at all. So yes, philosophy, reading philosophy helped me a lot. Then let's see the other event of Albert Camus about the political engagement. Camus became political during his student years, joining first the Communist Party and then the Algerian People's Party. So at first he was fond of Communist Party, then he was with the Algerian People's Party. As a champion of individual rights, he opposed French colonization and argued for the empowerment of Algerians in politics and labor. You see, as a human being, as a solid human being, as a honest human being, though he was originated from France, but he was still against the colonialism, and he was in the movement against the French colony, and he was always with the people's right. So he joined the movement, anti French movement at that time, and he was saying that even though it is a colony, but they should have their fundamental rights. That is, you cannot treat people like beasts. They should have their fundamental rights. Camus would later be associated with the French anarchist movement. There is a movement against the colonialism, French colonialism, and being originated from a French family, he himself was the frontliner in the anarchist movement. At the beginning of World War II, Camus joined the French resistance in order to help liberate Paris from the Nazi occupation. So during the Second World War, he was in France, and he joined there as a soldier there, and he fought for the French liberation as it was under the Nazi force, the force of Hitler, Adolf Hitler. So he worked as a soldier in the Second World War. He met Jean-Paul Sartre during his period of military service. So Jean-Paul Sartre is one of the greatest philosopher, and he is mostly known for his philosophy existentialism. in Bangla what we call Ostitobad. So he met him during the World War, and because Japal Satre was also serving the military service, and during the World War, everybody, regardless of which profession you are, everybody joined the forces. Like in our during 1971, regardless of the profession, everybody joined the Mukti force, become a freedom fighter. So it was there that regardless of the occupation, profession, and caste and creed, everybody joined in the military service to free Paris from the Nazi occupational army. Like Sartre, Kamo wrote and published political commentary on the conflict throughout its duration. So he not only fought for the French army, but also he continued the passion, that is writing during that time, and he was writing against the war, against the occupational army, Nazi army, and their devastation. In 1945, he was one of the few Allied journalists to condemn the American use of atomic bomb in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So, though America was Allied forces, there are two forces during the World War II, Allied and Axis forces. So, uh, France was on the side of Allied forces, but still, and of course, Japan, Italy, and Germany, they were on the Axis forces. So the Allied force, that is the uh, after throwing the two nuclear bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, he protested that. Though he was with the American forces, American force and French army, they were fighting together, but still he condemned that it is not good for humanity. You are throwing this nuclear bomb and killing mass people massively. It is not good for the upcoming world. You are doing something very bad for this world. So he was also an outspoken critic of communist theory, eventually leading to a rift with Sartre. So Sartre, Jean-Paul Sartre, was a believer of communist theory, and now there was a rift, there was a fight, there is a kind of intellectual argument between Jean-Paul Sartre and Mr. Albert Camus, because now Albert Camus himself is a philosopher of absurdism. So there was a clash of personality between him and Jean-Paul Sartre after the Second World War. So let's talk about the literary career of Albert Camus. The dominant philosophical contribution of Camus' work is absurdism. So, so what is, in short, in nutshell, what is absurdism? I'll explain in depth about absurdism and existentialism after reading the biography and obviously the characters of a stranger. We'll go for the two philosophy, that is absurdism and existentialism. So in short, if I say about absurdism, it is based on belief. It is based on belief that the universe is irrational and meaningless, and that the search for order brings the individual into conflict with the universe. In Bangla, if I tell about absurdism, it is অর্থহীনতা। এই পৃথিবীর কোনো অর্থ নেই, আমাদের জীবনের কোনো অর্থ নেই, it is meaningless. So I'll explain later about these two terms. So uh, while he is often associated with existentialism, he rejected the label, expressing surprise that he would be viewed as a philosophical ally of Sartre. He rejected that. No, no, no. I am not giving any new idea. I am just hiring the idea from Sartre. I am not giving any new idea at all. Elements of absurdism and existentialism are present in Camus' most celebrated writing. So, three, writing of Mr. Albert Camus, three masterpieces is there. The myth of Sisyphus is there, 1942. The myth of Sisyphus, it was published in 1942. Elucidates his theory of the absurd most directly. The protagonist of The Stranger, we will see Moras, a protagonist of A Stranger, is is also the believer of this absurdism. And then we'll see The Plague that was published in 1942. So you remember about especially two masterpieces, The Plague and The Stranger. So The Stranger was published in 1942 and Plague was published in 1947. Must also confront the absurdity of social and cultural orthodoxies with dire results. So he was also against the orthodoxies about the traditional values that was existing in the society. As an Algerian, Camus brought a fresh outsider perspective to French literature of the period. So he is not born and brought up in France. He was from Algeria, though his family is originated from France. So it is a fresh air outside. The French people were brought with the writers. So this is a kind of new thing, new dimension in French literature he brought. And today we'll be reading Stranger, and it is a translation. It was not written in English. It was a translation from the French writing, obviously. He brought a fresh air for the literary genres of France. In addition to novels, he wrote and adapted plays. So he also wrote plays and was active in the theater during the 1940s and 50s. So he was a theater artist also. He was a performing artist in theater. His later literacy works include The Fall, 1956, and Exile and the Kingdom, 1957. But these are not that popular or prolific like Plague and The Stranger. So we are fortunate to read the masterpiece, and it is a Nobel Prize winning writing, The Stranger. So let's see about his Nobel Prize and death. So Albert Camus was awarded for literature in 1957. For his outstanding contribution to literature, he was awarded Nobel Prize in 1957. He died on January 4, 1960, in Burgundy, France. After receiving after 3 years of receiving the Nobel Prize, he died in France. That is in Burgundy of France. Personal life, about the personal life, we don't know that much, but one thing is Camus was married and divorced twice because he didn't have the belief, and rather he has a kind of disapproval towards the institutional marriage system. He was not fond of institutional marriage, that yes, it is the bondage of two soul, so there is no need of institutional marriage. So twice he married, and because of his disapproval, and because he thought that these are absurd things, the rules and regulations, the family and social life is absurd, and he was very fond of personal freedom. When you are very fond of personal freedom, then your family life will be in a stake. it will be not good when you emphasize too much on your freedom. So he didn't have a very happy conjugal life. He was married twice, and twice he was divorced. So that was all about the biography of the great Nobel Prize winning writer, Mr. Albert Camus. Let's see the characters of the stranger. The first character is the protagonist, is the hero, whatever you say. Uh, Not the hero of the traditional type. He is not a stereotype hero. He is a man from the society. He is a man who has emotion, who has passion. So rather, tagging him as a hero, we can say him as a protagonist. That is the main character, and all the story and all the characters revolves around him. So let's see about the character. The name is Marceau. It is not Marsault. The You see the spelling Meursault. In normal sense, you'll say Marsault, but it is Marceau. It is a French name, so don't you have to pronounce it like the French people does. They saw Marceau. Okay, so the name of the character is Marceau. The protagonist is Marceau, not Marsault. So the protagonist and narrator of The Stranger is Marceau, to whom the novel's title refers. So Marceau is a stranger, and he is the protagonist, and he will be narrating the whole story. Uh, there will be events, and he will be narrating few events. So he is the protagonist and narrator of the, and to him the title is associated. He is titled as a stranger because he like the writer himself, like Camus himself, he don't believe in the traditional values, social system, and marital life. There are many critics who used to say that it is through the character of Marceau, it is the personal life of Mr. Camus is reflected to some extent. That's why reading the biography of Mr. Albert Camus was so important. That's why I took time describing his life. So Marceau is a detached figure who views and describes much of what occurs around him from a removed position. So he is detached from everything. He is detached from the family life. He is detached from the almost social life. He don't have many friends, and he is a kind of a stranger to everyone, a outsider, a outlander to everyone. He is emotionally indifferent. So um, uh, many people, we we have a wrong concept about the word indifferent. Indifferent means reluctant. In Bangla, udashin. Okay, so it is not associated with different. Indifferent means reluctant. You are not interested. Simply, you are not interested to someone. That means indifference or indifferent. So he was emotionally reluctant to others. He was not emotionally attached to others, even to, because he thought that I'm alone here in this world, and I'll be more alone while I'll be departing from this world to another world. So he was reluctant emotionally to other people. He Even to his mother and his lover Marie. So he was not that much emotional about his mother and his lover Marie also. He also refuses to adhere to the acceptance as a moral order of society. So there is an order in the society. We respect about some values and ethics of the society. So he rejected to maintain. Adhere means maintain he didn't maintain those values. After Marsaw kills a man, the Arab, for no apparent reason, he is put on trial. So he was convicted for killing a man, and we don't have the name of the man. He is just tagged as the Arab. That is, the man is from Middle East, probably. That's why the man is titled as the Arab, for no apparent reason. For no apparent reason, he's, because he don't have the emotion for people. So for no apparent reason, he could kill a person. He does kill a person for no reason. However, the focus of Mercer murder trial quickly shifts away from the murder itself to Mercer's attitude and belief. So the he was accused for murder, but when he was on the court, when the juries were here, there are, the hair is on going on on the court, the juries and the attorneys, they were not talking about the killing of the Arab at all. They were talking about the immorality of Mr. Marceau. Marceau, Marceau's atheism and his lack of outward grief at his mother's funeral represents a serious challenge to the morals of the society in which he lives. Consequently, society brands him an outsider. So we'll see that in the plot, that is in the story, Marceau's mother was living in a old old home, and he arrived after the death of his mother, and he was emotionless there. Even beside his mother's dead body, he was drinking coffee and smoking cigarettes. So even he was emotionless to the mother. That, and these are the thing uh, uh, that was presented by the attorney, and the judge also criticized him as a threat, as a monster for the society, and he is tagged as an outsider. That this since this man doesn't give value to the society, then he is an outsider. And this kind of people who don't have the emotional attachment with his own people, even with his mother, so this type of people are threat for the society, threat for the next generation, threat for the upcoming people. So these sort of people should be executed. These sort of people should not exist for a better future of this universe. So he's the outsider. He's the stranger in the novel. Then we have the second character, Mary Cardona. Mary Cardona was a I'll just give you the synopsis about the character now. Other characters I will not discuss, like Marceau, because Marceau is the protagonist. That's why I discussed in depth about his character. So Mary Cardona is the lover of Mr. Marceau. Then Raymond Sintes. Raymond Sintes is the neighbor, and he's not a good man in by profession, because he's a local pimp. So you know the word pimp, that is a middleman who has many hoods under him, and he generates income by from the hoods. So he's a middleman of the ladies who are in that profession. So that is the third character, and he's Mr. Raymond is a though his profession is not good, but he is very much emotionally attached to our the protagonist Marceau. Then we have the fourth character, Marceau's mother. So Marceau's mother lived in a and from the death of Marceau's mother, the action of the novel begins, and we don't see any lively discussion about the mother, Mercer's mother, Madame Mercer, because the action begins from the date of the mother. There is no alive mother in the novel. Then we have the chaplain. Chaplain is the clergyman who are there in the court. Actually, he is a chaplain of the prison. So chaplain is a word that means clergyman, and that clergyman is associated with the chapel. Chapel means institution. A institutional a religious is, you see, in prison you will have chaplain. You will have there will be a small prayer room, and in that prayer room there will be a person will be involved, and it is called a chapel. And the main religious person or the of that chapel is called chaplain. So we have a chaplain, and the chaplain is very frustrated with the atheism of Mr. Marceau. He tried his level best to convince our protagonist Marceau about the existence of the God, about the religion, about the afterlife, about heaven and hell, but he was unable to convince the philosophy of existentialism, philosophy of absurdity of our protagonist, Mr. Marceau. Then we have Thomas Paris. Thomas Paris is a minor character. We don't have much about Mr. Thomas Paris in the novel. We just have glimpses of Mr. Thomas Paris because Thomas Paris used to be a good friend of Marceau's mother, and Thomas Paris was also living with Marceau's mother in that old home. There was Thomas Paris. Then we have the examining magistrate. That is the magistrate who was, in the court. He was the judge, and he was giving the verdict about Mr. Marceau. And also magistrate was very much frustrated with the disbelief about religion of our protagonist. Then the next character is these are mainly the major characters. So in today's class we discussed about the biography of Mr. Albert Camus, one of the greatest writer of modern period, and he's called the father of absurdism, and also he delivered or he gave the light to Jean-Paul Sartre and Kierkegaard's theory of existentialism, and he is viewed as one of the greatest writer of modern time. And also people have recognized him institutionally because he achieved the Nobel Prize for his outstanding contribution for literature in 1957. That is, in modern period he got the Nobel Prize, and we are fortunate to some extent because we normally read the text 400 years or 500 years back. But in this course, that is in Continental Literature, we are having the writings from the people of European continent, and most of the writers are from modern writers. So we can see the views, the philosophy, the way of life of the modern people. So in true sense, we are having a European continent in this course. So thank you very much, my dear student, for joining to this class. Hope with the plot of the story, we'll see you in the next class. Thank you very much.